DAPTIME Sports, Game Time. Full episodes can be found at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or on our website at www.itsdaptime.com. Also, be sure to follow us on Instagram at DAPTIME21, Twitter at DAP_time, Facebook at DAPTIME, and on YouTube at DAPTIME TV. Thank you for your continued support. As always, we're proud to partner with Harrell Eyewear, maker of fine eyeglasses and sunglasses for your everyday wear. Also, be on the lookout for the new line, Never Lose Your Identity. It's time.
What up? What up? What's happening? Welcome back to another episode of Game Time. This is where Big Dame and AJ get into sports and sports-related topics. I'm AJ, of course, and I'm being accompanied by the one and only world-renowned Big Dame, my partner in crime. And that groove that you are hearing is being provided by the incomparable in-house maestro, always dropping it on the one, Pete Nice. The three of us are delighted to welcome you back to another episode where we're going to jump into some sports stuff. We're going to keep it real live and locked. And with no delay right now, it's time to get to it. So lace them up, jump into the center of the ring. Ding, ding. What up, Big Dang?
What's happening, bro? How you doing, man?
Man, I feel good, bro. I feel good. We are in the heart of the summer. Threats of drought and heat wave continue for us out here, while others back that way are dodging hurricanes and stuff like that. But so far, I got my head above ground, above water.
Treacherous times, man. Treacherous times. But as always, we're blessed. So we walk through that. We walk through the raindrops and don't get wet.
Blessed. Yes, we are. Hey, man. Real quick, wanted to jump into to this on the wire. So USA basketball, or is it? So there's been all the talk. They fell to Nigeria over the weekend. They fell to Australia. Pop, while seemingly mild-mannered, also sounded a little surly, a little spicy with one of the reporters. Wanted to just get your take, man. I mean, should we be shocked or surprised by some of the teams beating us that have beaten us?
I don't know that we should be shocked or surprised. I heard a take earlier that made me kind of change my view on this thing. And one of the things is the guy was saying that U.S. basketball style is kind of a one-on, it's like two-man basketball, like a one-on-one type of style. If you need a bucket, look at all the greats that we have now. Durant, if you need a bucket, he's going to take the game in his hands. He's going to make a shot. He's going to create a shot. He's going to play 1-on-5 if need be.
Right.
Whereas a lot of these other countries, all they know is team ball. That's all they've been bred in, was team ball. Personally, though, when I look at Australia's top 5 roster, that should still be no excuse. I think Dellavedova is on that team. Patty Mills. Yeah, I mean,
hey, Delly was your guy at one point.
No disrespect. He almost took us there, but almost only counts in horseshoes. But
right.
I mean, it's just like when you look at that roster compared to Dame Dollar, KD. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, it's just like it's that's really no excuse. So I'm not shocked. I think probably part of what's going on is that the U.S. team is probably overlooking some of these games. They're probably not fully focused. They're probably just like, hey, let's just go out, and let's just go out here and play. And it came back to bite them, whereas the other teams, they've got a target on their back every night. It's kind of like the other teams that's a notch on the belt if you can beat Team USA. So,
I think you make a good point there. I also think, in fairness, man, we're used to sending top to bottom the best of the best if we're going to send them over to represent, right? So you're going to have Steph and Clay and KD is going to be, Kyrie is going to be on that squad with them. James Harden's going to be on that squad. I mean, you're going to have all of the the stars, right? I
Right.
believe Giannis will be joining them. I think Chris Paul is going to be joining them. I think Devin Booker is going to join them. So I think they will get help. But, you know, we may be a prisoner of what we see on television here, right? And so we see, we're the best of the best and we're used to winning. But, you know, we don't get a lot of exposure to international basketball. So even until we see those guys show up in the league here, we're not mindful of just how competitive they are. You know, I think you factor in that the 3-point line is a little closer and there's some other dynamics that could affect you. You know, just playing abroad, playing different teams, and the fact that they, you know, it means something to them to beat the United States. I think it means something that you have a team coached by an NBA coach with players on the roster who play against NBA players playing for these other countries. I think it means that the mix and blend that they get from guys playing internationally with guys who know our game, know and are familiar with some of our players. You know, I think that the competition level is higher. And I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I mean, I'm all for United States winning gold. Want to see them win gold, want to take pride in the country representing in those games. But I think the competition being higher is good for everybody.
Well, I think what's interesting too is so quick fun fact, right? On the opening day of the 91-92 NBA season, NBA rosters included 23 international players.
Wow.
Right? From 18 different countries, right? By 2019, 2020, there were 108 international players from 38 different countries and territories. So when you think about it like that, now as you look at these other teams, and these are the guys that made it, right? So we all know that there's the guys
Bodies
that make
on the floor.
Exactly. There's guys that are just as good, if not better, still at home, right?
Right.
So I think you have to keep in mind, I mean, maybe the game has just, everybody else is just caught up. You know what I mean? You know, when that first dream team, when it was Jordan and Magic and Bird and, you know, the whole, you know, that was a all-star team of all-star teams, right? But and nobody had really seen anything like that on an international scale. Now, that was 20 some years ago, or it was 20 some years ago. So now these other countries have kind of caught up, and you know, I think we're seeing the fruits of their labor play out. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's something to take a look at, and it's something to really keep an eye on, you know, as we move forward, because I think it's going to be really, really, really key. You know, fun fact, on opening day of the 91-92 season, NBA rosters included 23 international players from 18 different countries, right? By 2019, 2020, there were 108 international players from 38 different countries and territories. So when you look at the international game, they've stepped their game up, obviously. You know what I mean? They've got more guys getting into the league now. And as we all know, for every guy that makes it, there's somebody at home who's just as good. You know what I mean? If not better, for whatever reason he didn't make it to the league. But so they've got players over there. You know, they've got players in these different countries, and you know, the fruits of their labor is starting to show.
You know, it's interesting. We're going to talk about baseball a little bit later in the show, and I'm starting to wonder and it'd be really interesting to research if we're seeing some parallels in the NBA that we've seen with baseball. I mean, there was a time where baseball really was not just a viable option for us, but it was something that, you know, we saw a lot of ourselves there. And now, you know, you're seeing the international players really as the marquee players. Or you're seeing, you know, homegrown players get touted, but you know, as far as the Black American player, you know, you don't see us in as many places on the diamond as we used to. I think you're right. I think that they've caught up, and I think it makes watching the basketball portion of this Olympics pretty interesting. Because people are saying, "Oh, I still expect the USA to win gold." I don't know that this team is going to win gold, and I think that doubt being there in the air makes it more interesting, frankly.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be now. On the other hand, I think if the team assembled makes it their business to go and achieve a goal, I think absolutely there. I think talent wise, I still think that Team USA is head and shoulders above most of what's out there. Right.
Okay.
Just think from those players assembled.
So I'm with you, but here's the risk. You're on a global stage, and what if you find out that KD isn't the best player on the planet? What if KD gets shut down? That there is the risk. If I saw some cats from Nigeria doing their thing. Now, right, you put them in our league, and they're just okay. Epike Udoh, who was drafted by the Warriors, I think he played with Utah. Good big man, good utility, serviceable big man, but it looks good within the structure of how Nigeria was using him. So I think it'll really be interesting. Do I expect somebody to lock up KD and shut him down? Do I expect that to happen? No, but again, I think it's going to be worth following to really see, are we still the best game in town?
It'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting. Like I said, if it's, when you go from it being about the competition to, I'm making my money here, I got this deal going, that deal going, I'm trying to be considered the best player on the planet. When those are my concerns, it's hard for me. I would imagine it's hard to focus back in on just the competition of the game. I don't know, but I think that's what we're seeing. I think we're seeing people that are half focused, slightly motivated, and I think that's what we're seeing on the court. I think that's a big part of, not to take away from Australia and Nigeria, of course, but I really do. I think talent wise, if this team decides, no, we're not going to lose another game, and they're focused and they're motivated, I think they can put some distance between them and the rest of the field.
I'll tell you who's a winner in this that most people probably aren't paying attention to. Ice Cube.
Oh, with the big three?
Because the big three, people are anticipating them. They had a really successful season last year. They've done well the first, couple of runs out. Their league is growing. Some new faces are showing up in that league. The international game, the international players provides an opportunity. If that league evolves for players who, want to get another game, another run. And, Hooper's always looking for another run. Mm-hmm. And you're playing against really good talent. Guys who can still play the game. They're just, they're not for the NBA game. They can take a shortened season. They can play a half court, 3-on-3, and play it competitively. I think the big three, it's not going to pose a threat to the NBA, but I think the big three is poised to make a major jump, providing, again, another alternative and outlet for fans of basketball to really enjoy. And I like that. It's something else. I'm interested to see what the big three does this year as well. So, lot to watch with USA basketball. Last weekend, we also had European World Cup. And I don't know if you got this story, but England, it's a tie game with Italy. England had 3 black players had a shot at a penalty kick that would have given them the win. Miss it, right? They are harassed. And apparently, Twitter had to take down over 1,000 disgusting, harassing messages sent to them. But it is no secret that the fans of soccer, particularly on the global stage, that is a rowdy bunch, to say the least. And from a racially charged standpoint, they have done some ridiculous heckling, really hateful kind of stuff. So my question to you, Big Dame, is that seeing what we saw last week, seeing this stance, I mean, it's, of course, everybody's come out in support of the players. What does it say about the state of the world? I mean, we talk about Black Lives Matter here in this country. You and I have both been very vocal about our position, but, you know, I mean, just this kind of visceral public display of hatred for someone else, to the degree that it seems to go in that arena. What does it say about the state of our world, and the global sports fan?
I mean, I think as far as the soccer hooligans,
hooligan,
because it's what they are. So quick. I know we haven't done book and binge in a while. I'm gonna throw a quick one out there. I would suggest you watch if you haven't seen already, and anybody else. There's a movie called Green Street Hooligans, and it's about the soccer culture. It's exactly about what we're talking about, and it's fictional, but I think it's loosely based on some real events. But it's it's a movie about the hooligan. That's what they call themselves, the hooligans from different teams, and they literally they follow their team to different matches, and they set the fight with the other team's hooligans. I mean, that's how they get down. You know what I mean? And that's just part of that culture. So in that arena, to heckle, to make racist comments and heckle players that are of another nationality or of another creed, it's not surprising, and it's not the first time. It's part of that culture. You know what I mean? Not everybody who's a big soccer fan does it, but that hooligan lifestyle, that fanatic, when it comes to soccer, that's kind of part of the culture. So I think I don't know what it says about the world in general, but I think it says the same thing it's always said. I mean, because it's been like that. So I think you have hateful people. You know what I mean? I think in a lot of these situations, I don't know that the people that were heckling these black players necessarily hate them because of the color of their skin. You know what I mean? I think they're nuts and they're fanatics about a sport.
Right.
And so at the same time, had one of these black players made the goal, how much adulation and love would they have poured on them? You know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's people are crazy, man. And I think that people, whenever you can put your love into a game to the point to where you would hate on another human being, something's wrong with that. So I think if it says anything, it says our priorities are grossly misplaced. That's one way to put it, I guess.
I think you're right. It's just I think we like to believe, we wrap ourselves up in the security of the latest story and headline, and sometimes we want to see more progress than it is actually there. And I was glad to see that Twitter took a stance really quickly and stepped out front. There was publicly, it seemed like a lot of the mainstream media outlets were in staunch support of the players. But I've seen bits and pieces. And I think it was on a Real Sports segment they kind of went behind the scenes on the hooligans, and I think it's maybe Russia. I think it was either Russia or Germany. I think it was Germany, outside of a match, so like they met outside the city, and like their fans and the opposing team's fans just got it in. And it's like I can't. I love the Raiders. I love the Dubs, bro. But no. Right. It's not for come on. I paid for the privilege to come here and cheer, and I want to get it in. No.
Right.
I'm gonna be mad about the loss, but no. Right. Just and depending on the season, there'd be a lot of losses and misery to go with that. So, real quick, want to take a second and give a spotlight, Big Dame, as we transition on to our tip-off. Just to remind fans, well, first of all, if you're watching us and you catch us on YouTube, be sure, if you haven't done so, hit that subscription and notification bell. It really helps us a lot, as well as it'll give you an opportunity to stay up to date whenever we drop something new. But also want to remind you that coming up on July 23rd, this year's 2021 Olympics, we've had to wait an extra year for the Olympics in Tokyo. And it seems like being at home is going to be the best place to be anyway, because a lot of the venues won't have fans in it. So let's make sure you mark your calendars for the 23rd of July through August 8th so that you can support and stay tuned for some of those people and events that you want to follow. Big Dame, as we look at the Olympics, there are some names that, certainly want to track. And I just wanted to throw some of these out at you and get your thoughts, as well as to talk about some of the things to look forward to. Simone Biles has, won 7 world titles as a gymnast. No female gymnast has done that. In fact, before Simone Biles, I didn't even know that you could get a move named after you. Like you have to do, so the Simone Biles, which is this move she's done on floor exercise. It's a 3.5 tuck twist, yada, yada, flip, flop, flimmy flam, Wow. But it's a great move, right? And it's apparently, and I just found this out watching the qualifiers, if you do a move that's not been done before in world competition, you can have that move named after you. And so she has a move that is patented after her. It's called Simone Biles. And so I'm really interested to see, will she take gold this year? We've got a strong team, but she is really a phenomenal gymnast. That's one of the things I enjoy watching around the Olympics is the gymnastics on both sides. Anybody in the arena of gymnastics, male or female, that you're interested in checking out?
Simone Biles, definitely. I want to see if she can put some distance between her and the field, in regards to the medal count, for one. And just to see her do her thing, it really is a work of art. It really is a work of art. So, she's definitely one I'll be checking for.
We also have swimming, women's swimming. Katie Ledecky is kind of playing the role of Michael Phelps for us this year. She's won several times. She's dominated 200 meter breaststroke. Watch her in the qualifier. She looks great. Something to pay attention to. Anybody in the field. Now, I did see the story that there's something about the caps that the IOC is regulating this year. They don't want them to wear a certain type of cap. I guess it gives a competitive advantage. Not enough that you got to be drug tested. Now I got to check your gear.
Right.
But anything, and there's a kid actually in the diving game, 17-year-old, that'll be representing on the diving side, as well for men. So, in that, when it comes to the pool, is there anything that you typically are interested in, or you follow, or you watch?
I'm probably going to keep an eye on Simone Manuel.
Okay.
I want to see what she, I want to see if she can. I know I think she got gold in 2016. So I want to see if she can, return to form this year and see how she does. So
when it comes to the track,
oh man,
yeah, everybody's been talking about Sha'Carri, and we talked about her last week. Going to miss her, but on the men's side of things, we've got Noah Lyles. Certainly want to see what he's going to do. Arian,
that's who I'm checking for. Arian Knight. This kid was in the Junior Olympics last year. He's running in the junior. He's still in high schou. And he's on Team USA. So I'm really excited to see what he does with the opportunity. The kid can fly. I'm really excited to see what he does.
Yeah, I think, even though it's a short race, I'm curious to see if this kid can pull off the upset of all upsets in the 200.
He was really close in the trials.
He was close.
He's in the building.
He's definitely in the building. Yeah. Definitely in the building. We've got Cindy McLaughlin.
Yep.
In the hurdles.
Yep.
I'm checking for her now. Allison Felix, I believe she missed she missed her patented 200. She's not going to run the 200, right?
She'll be running the 400.
But she runs the 4. So we'll see her still. And this is probably more, going to be her last. And I'm actually pulling for her. Come on, as a mother to even be on that stage still.
Absolutely.
Very impressive. But for Sydney McLaughlin, man, I'm trying to see what it do. I saw her qualifiers, man, and she's smoking the field.
Her and Muhammad push each other. It's something to watch. Though that's a true race where they feed off of each other and they push each other to race their best race each time. But what I've noticed, Sydney McLaughlin is starting to distance herself a little bit.
She is.
You know what I mean? She's starting to come into her own, and I think she's a little younger as well, so that doesn't hurt. But that's going to be a real interesting race, the 400-meter hurdle. To see if she can, and she set a new world record at the trials. So, let's see if
her style of winning is what blows me away. Yeah. It's not like she jumps out in front and then just leads from the front. Like the way she walks people down on the back third, is ugly. Yeah. It's just like
she's strong,
because you could really feel like, okay, I got this cool. I just need to maintain and hit my kick. Mm-hmm. But man, she starts pumping and has so much left in the tank to be running hurdles and a 400. It's just it's something to watch.
Yeah,
and to see the two of them competing. Hopefully, they're competing in the finals and they don't come out head to head in the semi. Right. But it'd be nice to see them in the finals for all the marbles. And to go from there. The last thing now, is this the year we get breakdancing, Big Dame?
Oh man, I'm not sure. I have to check on that
because that was announced, right? Like the breakdancing is going to the Olympics, and I haven't heard anything about it. And I'm wondering if we have to wait for 4 more years before we get breakdancing. I was kind of hoping, I was looking forward to it.
If we're getting it this year, I'm mad that I didn't get an invite to the trial.
I'm confident in your up game. It's the floor game. I'm not sure you really still could get with.
Yeah, the floor game. Yeah, I mean, I can do some popping and locking, a little 6-step, but when it comes to the floor work, I might stay there. I might just. That's all I got. Yeah. So it is adding breakdancing 2024.
2024. Okay. All right. So we have time to get our CMOS up.
That's right.
Get our stretch game together.
That's right.
Do some PIO and get back to it and be ready for the trials.
Absolutely.
Listen, Game Timers, we want to take a moment just to recognize our partner. How we feeling? They've been great for us. They are creating a new way to engage online authentically. We encourage you to check out their website. Start creating a story, whether your story is you want to be an Olympian, you want to be a junior Olympian, you want to just get in shape, or maybe it's something else, want to learn how to cook. Whatever your journey is, you can engage online with audiences and with people who are just like you, going down the same path, get encouragement, authentically tips and things like that, all to make it more valuable. Everybody's got a story. Just change the way you share yours online today. Visit their website, www.howwefeeling.com. Big Dame, in the main event, want to give a little bit more time to this. We mentioned it earlier. We wanted to go to baseball. Mm-hmm. Shohei Ohtani for the Angels is torching the league right now. Mm-hmm. Torching the league. I mean, he is conjuring up in the minds of fans and writers. We'll touch on that. Babe Ruth, a dominating pitcher and a dominating power hitter. Guy just put on a show in the home run derby and is a starting pitcher in the All-Star game for the American League. Mm-hmm. Stephen A. Smith actually made a comment. He was posed a question, what about Shohei is keeping him from, receiving more fame and notoriety for all he's doing, right? As a dominant Japanese-born player who's now playing in this league. This morning, and that was just yesterday, this morning Stephen A. issued an apology that's nothing short of falling on the sword. It is contrition at its highest degree. It's like he might have apologized for other atrocities. I don't know. It was lengthy. It was lengthy. But he made statements like, to anyone who was hurt by what I said, and, all this stuff. And his response initially when he was asked the question was basically that because Ohtani does not speak English in interviews and things like that, has to have a translator, that's part of the reason why, he's not more popular. Right. Mm-hmm. So my part one of my question to you is, what do you think about Stephen A's need to apologize, this need to apologize for something like that when you have an internationally born player playing in our game here in America, but the language barrier keeps the opportunities limited? Is it a fair thing to say that may be a hindrance to wider spread popularity?
Absolutely. 100%. I mentioned to you before, I'm a boxing fan. A lot of the boxers are from different countries, be it Spanish speaking country, Russian speaking country, German speaking, whatever. And many of them don't take the time to learn English, or they prefer to use an interpreter, or whatever the case may be. And it is, I'll be honest, it is a little, I don't spend as much time looking at the post-fight press conference or the pre-fight press conference or the lead-up press conferences, because I don't feel like sitting there and listening to your listen to you go through the translator. It's just, for me, it's a turnoff of sorts. So doesn't mean I don't like you. Doesn't mean I don't like your culture or anything like that. I just, when I turn on my American channel, I feel like I want to hear English. That's what I speak, So I feel like it's absolutely fair to imply that may be a reason for his popularity not to be more than what it is. What's interesting to me is the fact that he felt so strongly the need to apologize for that, because I don't see where an apology is warranted. That's a fact. That's a factual opinion. It's an opinion, but that's a very reasonable opinion. So I don't understand that.
Yeah, I was a little put off by it as well. I mean, just thinking that here's a guy who, is known for going at people, his own people.
Never once apologized for any of those. No, I never felt the need to apologize for any of those.
But somebody says, "Hey, you stepped on my toe." Oh my God, I didn't mean to step on your toe. And in fact, if I offended anybody around you for stepping on your toe, I'm sorry for them too. And and I get it. We don't want to be rude, but I think to your point, like what was said is factual. I mean, Yao Ming, when he came over here, I think he spoke a little English, but he was willing to speak more publicly, understanding the opportunity he had to become an influencer, and to be more inclusive of the fan base that supported him, sharing China as their native home. And so I think this thing where we kind of coddle people, what we found out today in a post after Stephen A made his apology is that Ohtani speaks English to his teammates. So you're choosing not to speak English when being interviewed by interviewers. You're choosing to use an interpreter. And maybe that's because the comfort level is different. If you're with your teammates in the locker room, they can work with you when you need to sound out words or work with you with context and phrasing to make it more familiar and your conversation to be more relevant regionally. But at the end of the day, it's practice that gets you there, right? And if this is the stage you're going to play on and there's going to be a microphone on your face, you would want to see those people get better, right? So I agree with you. I don't think that needed to happen. The thing that was really intriguing to me when I was looking at his stats, though, and looking at what he's doing, and this is the question I really wanted to get to with you. I was wondering how long before somebody links him to some sort of performance issue. We've seen pitchers for years, even decent hitting pitchers, but never with the kind of dominance in my lifetime that he has. You know what I mean? I've heard about Babe Ruth, but I didn't watch no Babe Ruth games.
Right.
So to see a pitcher come to the plate and really get it in, so much so that they're in the home run derby.
Right.
In the home run derby. Like, I mean, it wasn't like a skills competition. You put a point guard in, and now that it's, this was, the home run derby, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can turn around and be the starting pitcher in an all-star game. Like, just,
I think
these are the things that the media usually jumps all over.
Yeah. I think what's unfortunate, let's start there. What's unfortunate about it is that we can't just say, man, this dude is an anomaly. Look at him go. This is cool, right?
Yes.
What's also unfortunate about it is we've seen players do less and get called out for possible alleged use of something, a performance enhancing drug or what have you. So I do find it odd that no one has even nobody's even asked the question. There's no mumblings. And I'm not saying he's using anything, or I'm not saying that he should be,
of course,
indicted for anything, but I do find it very odd that there's no attention that hasn't even come up as a talking point. Mm-hmm. When it just makes me wonder why that is.
Well, that's the thing is, and we were talking about this in pre-production conversation, that there's been so much scrutiny thrown out for so much less that it now is a knee-jerk reaction. Mm-hmm. We've talked about this ad nauseum. Barry Bonds, to me, a 40-40 guy, first 40-40 guy, I think. Mm-hmm. Here's a guy in his prime, tearing things up in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. And he put on a lot of muscle, and speculation, starts rising like, man, at 32, 33, you can go in the gym and get that and change your diet. We're learning now, frankly, that with the proper diet change, even more of a vegan diet, you can put on that kind of mass because you don't have the kind of things that interrupt your cell reproduction and stuff like. So it is possible it could have happened all naturally. But because somebody hadn't seen it before, they raised the question. Now, there was no scuttlebutt. Nobody had rumored. I heard he's juicing. Nothing like that. But the whisper starts, right? And with the whisper, all of a sudden, now it's something people want to hunt up and dig up. And there's the link. And what I believe he was, what they got him for using was a cream that aids in recovery. The dude's bone on bone in his knees as a baseball player, going out day in and day out, giving you the business. Like, if something is going to help him recover, what isn't that what we want? We want the best of him that we can have if he's going to show up. But I think we've had so much of this stuff. And people, the hypocrisy of you're tainting the game, that now you see a Shohei who, for all I know, he's all natural, all organic, just a really blessed and gifted athlete. But it's hard to watch it without the question being present in your mind.
Right.
And if you're watching the game just to enjoy it, I don't want that question in my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I think it's unfortunate. I've often said before, so the whole performance enhancing drug thing is interesting to me, because where does performance enhancing start and stop, right? We got to ask ourselves that question. I think the system is antiquated and outdated. And I think all in all, across the board, the IOC and every league, every professional league probably should start taking a hard look at their policies and procedures as far as, performance enhancing drugs. Because here's the thing. LeBron, Tom Brady, some of your top level stars that make a lot of money spend quite a bit of money on their bodies, right? There's different recovery methods, hyperbaric chambers, cryo, massage therapy, all kind of different things these guys do. I mean, upwards of $1 million or more. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That these guys spend over a year, annually, to keep their bodies in tip top shape so they can play more, they can be on the court more, on the field more, make the most out of their body. Is that giving an unfair advantage to one player over another? Because Pat Beverly, probably doesn't make as much money as LeBron. So if he wanted, just a guess, if he wanted to spend the same amount of money on his body, he probably doesn't have the budget for that. So now is LeBron at an unfair advantage because he can spend $1 million and Pat Bev can only spend $200,000? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, so I think we need to ask ourselves. I think the court of public opinion has become real in a sense, right? Everything is everywhere for everybody to see now. So this whole steroids and performance enhancing drugs, you brought it up before. Josh Gordon failed a test, but what people don't know is he failed the test because he was not available to give the test. It was the off season. He's out of the country with his family vacationing, and they call and say, "Hey, here's a random test we're about to do." "Oh, I just tested 2 weeks ago. I thought I had time. Sorry, you're not available. We had to put you down for a dirty test." But what comes out in the media is he failed a drug test. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing. It's like, are we just trying to catch people up, or are we really trying to keep the level playing field, keep the game at a level playing field? Because if that's really what we're trying to do, we got to look at a lot of different stuff. You know what I mean? If a guy's using cream to help with some inflammation or pain in his joints where he's bone on bone, is that really helping him knock the ball over the? I mean, of course, it makes the pain more bearable, but he still got to connect with the ball. He still has to have immaculate hand-eye coordination. He has to have, the timing, the ability to sit on a pitch. I don't know that cream is helping him do that. I just don't. So
I think we had talked about this, and I look back at people that are now memorialized as iconic players, right? Mm-hmm. Bill Walton was playing in a smidge more than Chuck Taylor's, right? Like at that time. Right. So the science for a better shoe hadn't even advanced to a point to help him with his issues or anybody else in the league. So here's a guy who dominates through college, dominates early in his career, first couple of years in the league, but develops plantar fasciitis. And basically, he has a serviceable career, still very skilled player, but is considered one of the greatest big men to ever play the game. Mm-hmm. Is Bill Walton, if you would have told him when plantar fasciitis, the pain of it kicks in, that, he could take something or do something to alleviate that pain and extend his career playing at the level he was playing at when he first came in, when he won a championship with the Blazer, is he open to it? Especially if it's unclear that it's a violation, right? When Barry Bonds gets the cream, you get the cream. It's like, hey, this is HGH, this is the cream. But in terms of what they knew about human growth hormone and all of the implications of it, a lot of that wasn't public. I mean, these are athletes. Right. They're not researchers. These are not research scientists. What they research is, how do I get on the field, perform at my best, keep my job, and keep this bread coming in, and enjoy the game that I've loved all these years as long as I can. Because the day is going to come when you can't. Yep. And so, because certain things weren't available, and it was, at that time, I think when Walton was playing, the only way to really get it in, you're going to take a shot, right. And it was like, well, that's clearly you're taking a drug, and so it's much clearer. But now, man, you can get a protein powder. Well, wait, what's in that protein powder? Right. Or you can be on a certain diet that incorporates other things, and because of the chemical makeup in your body, it can cause you to test a certain way. Or you got THC in your system, and I didn't realize that's what it was. You know what I mean? Like there's all these different variables now. And to your point, I think that the governing bodies for sports as a whole really have to. We should be policing them to protect the reputation of the athletes that we love and of the sports events that we really want to support. Because to me, and that's why I really wanted to bring this conversation to the table, is when you're looking at a kid do something as amazing as Shohei Ohtani, I want to watch it free of the dirt. Mm-hmm. I don't want to think about, well, is he getting a pass because he's Japanese? I mean, if he was black, would we be, if his name was, Lil Mook Mook, would we be saying, I don't know what Mook Mook was on? Cause it's they have these ways of slipping stuff in on the air,
Yeah.
I tell you, the way Lil Mook Mook playing, you got to wonder, man, what are they feeding Lil Mook Mook? And the first thing that, why is he? We ain't seen a picture do this. And, now you start going back and, so, I don't even want to be bogged down with that kind of garbage when, I'm just watching a guy do something really special and I want to see that, I want to enjoy that. So we have to be better, I think, about policing it. Big Dame, real quick, just want to give a special shout out to DAPTIME. They are our partners. They've been our partners along with the others since the very beginning. Samira Jacobs has done an amazing job with her bath and beauty products, and they're all organic, all natural, no chemicals, no synthetic oils, just goodness and love go into making these things. So whether it's a bath bomb or sugar scrub or salt scrub or hand lotion, hand soap, please visit her website and check it out and support this teenage entrepreneur as she is advancing her brand to bring goodness into the home for you and your family. Check out their website, www.diatsayun.com. Big Dame, we're in the championship rounds. I know you have a nugget of wisdom for us. How do you put a bow on this one for us, bro?
Man, so here's the deal. It's funny that we talked about performance. We talked about enhancing performance. We talked about whether it's a good thing, bad thing. Here in the championship rounds, performance and enhancing your performance is always crucial. So here's the quote from the championship rounds for the day. This quote comes from Jim Rohn.
Okay.
Everyone must choose one of two pains: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Your choice. So, as we were talking about, different enhancements, different things people may use to try to stay on the field, to try to better their performance on the field. Likewise in life, as we just live our life, we need to be enhancing our performance in life. You know what I mean? Whether it's enhancing, pouring into your mind, pouring into your spirit, pouring into, just pouring into your physical, taking care of your body. These are all ways. If we don't choose the pain of discipline, getting up, going to the track, going to the gym, eating the way you should eat, you're not going to be perfect. But, more often than not, make the right decision, make the best decision for you and your body, make the best decision for what you put on your body, for what you allow yourself to see, what you put in your mind. If you don't choose that pain, the pain of that discipline, then the pain of regret will creep in, because without the discipline, you can't reach the goal. You cannot reach the goal that you have in hand. It was once said that a goal without a plan is just a dream. So that part of that plan is it includes the discipline to take each step every day to get there. So your choice, one of two pains: pain of discipline or the pain of regret.
Man, and it's funny because earlier as I was preparing for the show, I used the time to be productive. So, my juice spread is massive. I had my 2 types of kale out,
right,
my cucumber, my lemon, my ginger, turmeric, my apple, all that stuff, right? So it's funny. Sugarfoot texted me while I was hooking it up, and I sent the text with the video of everything, and her reply was, "Oh, that's a lot." I was like, yeah, it is. But the discipline to make the time, prioritize doing what's right by your body is it fuels me looking forward to achieving the goal. So that's a great nugget, man. Great nugget here in the championship round. Big Dame, as always, I appreciate the conversation, appreciate the insight, man. Appreciate you sharing from your heart. Pete Nice, always appreciate you cutting on the break, dropping it on the one. But most of all, the three of us are really glad that you tuned in. We said it earlier, we'll say it again. If you haven't done so, before you leave, make sure you hit that subscription button and the notification bell so you can stay up to date with everything we drop. When we drop it, share it with 5, 10, 15, 20 of your friends. Build a community. We're always, as we are with DAPTIME, our lifestyle show. We're trying to create a movement and a voice for the things that maybe you think about, but nobody talks about. So hopefully you'll enjoy many, many more conversations with us. If you aren't doing so already, be sure to get over to our website, www.itsdaptime.com. You'll want to stay up to date. We're getting ready to drop a very special series over there, Bold, Authentic Manhood. Bam! In 2021. You don't want to miss that. If you're not doing so already, you can also catch us on all social media channels. On Twitter, we are at DAP_time. On Instagram, we're at DAPTIME21. And on Facebook, we're at DAPTIME. But whatever you do, however you do it, just be sure you do it. And don't do it alone. Bring a friend. Until we get together the next time, we'll leave you as we always do. When you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror, there is your competition. We out.
Peace.